a width of a hair that they're actually in the round of 64, both of them. Especially eLmaGus, I think, has some really close matches.
Yeah, neither, and you know, this tournament has shown us, just in general, that all of the players who've made it to this stage in the brackets, it's hit or miss. Either one of each player could be the victor. And with that, we are off. So Uncle leaving his house with something in his hands there. I don't know if you noticed that, Ben.
I did. Oh, I'm finding the hammer right away. Well, this is going to be generous. So yeah, if you see the sword in his hand, that means they find the sword from Uncle, right?
Absolutely does mean that. It's a very rare occurrence to have happen. Although it should technically be 1 in 7. I know that there's an actual differentiation to make it so that that's less likely. I'm not sure the exact math on it.
I think it's 2%, actually.
Yeah, 2%. So an early map check there as well on TGH's side is going to give us a little bit of extra information as to where our pendants are. So Uncle picking up the sword there on eLmaGus' side.
Yeah, I have to admit, I did not get that map check looked at as they were doing that, but maybe you did.
I saw pendants, I believe, at Eastern and Tower of Hera Crystal at Desert. So that is, and they were blue and red pendants as well. So not even the green pendant in the light world.
Wow, so this is turning out to be fairly vanilla, except for finding that super early hammer. So they're gonna have the firepower they need for quite some time. This is very nice. This is gonna make that first chain mole guard easier. It's gonna make hunting for bombs now easier, and it's gonna make them sync up beautifully.
Yeah, and they are, as you say, perfectly in sync. The hammer, of course, providing them with basically tempered sword damage, although at a slightly less range when going north-south, and slower swing speed, but certainly is a nice benefit to take place. You can see it takes down these blue guards in a single hit. And Ether Medallion picked up in the first chest here in the dungeon.
It's a bit late, but I have to say it. Double kill! It's always satisfying to watch. It reminds me of my Unreal Tournament days.
And we can see now at the top of the screen does now match and reflect the actual round of 64 that this particular matchup is in. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this, be prepared for a doubleheader at the very least. And if it goes to game 3, these two runners have agreed to go all 3 games today, all in sequence. So it could be a tremendous day of Link to the Past randomizer between these two players.
Yeah, this is like playing 3 of these back to back is kind of esports level of commitment, where you see like professional gamers of other games like Counter-Strike or StarCraft, they're sweating there in the chairs playing game after game, just testing their endurance. That's what these two players are going to be doing tonight as well. So we're gonna completely skip that green guard, and we're gonna have one more test to check before we take Zelda to the back of Escape.
Whoa, look at that, the bow! What an amazing find. We've got ranged weapons, we've got incredible melee weapons. What an exciting start up to this matchup.
Get your weapons! Weapons of all sorts. Yes, even some magic with that ether. So the only thing they really need now is I was gonna say bow. They have the bow. They need a bomb. Both starts with B. Very confusing.
Yeah, absolutely. So as people I'm sure who've been watching this tournament know, the escape sequence has those 3 chests located in the back that you do want to find a bomb for before you leave, just because it's possible for any number of good items to be there, including a glove upgrade, and you really don't want to have to come back through this route again in order to find those 3 item checks. So these runners, neither of them seem to be interested in farming anything that isn't directly in their way, but you got to be thinking that they're looking for a bomb.
I think they've killed enough guards to know that bombs are not in the guard cycle, but I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly how many items a certain unit will cycle. These are like technicalities that I have not dwelt into the depth of.
Yeah, and I think there are technically two types of the green guards there. The ones that have the full swords that will dash, and those other ones in the back hallway. And I don't know that they have the same prize pool, but looks like both of these runners are content to hunt for bombs from the ropes, keys, and rats, if they're even interested in it.
Yes. I love the names of Zelda and Link to the Past enemies. They're always so confusing. But yes, these are ropes for some reason. And definitely not snakes.
Oh, and their TGH just picked up a bomb from them, so eLmaGus missed that opportunity there. Might get it later. There it is.
There we go.
Did pick it up.
So the ropes definitely have bombs in their prize pool. And this is going to be very nice for those 3 chests you were talking about. Now that they have found the bomb, I will predict that there is nothing in those 3 chests, because that seems to be the case.
Yeah, that is always... If they find the bomb, there's nothing important there. If one finds it and the other doesn't, sometimes there is. It's just the way that rando gods work. There's nothing we can do about it.
Maybe sacrifice some goats or something, but yeah.
And both these runners, within seconds of one another, just a slow map or slow item change between the 2 of them. Ooh,
the double bomb.
Side. It's pretty nice.
Another
TGH
double
also
kill.
So we get a single rupee here, a single arrow, and a map. So the artisanal arrow fetched out of this area.
Oh wow. That's not only useless, it's almost worse than useless. So yeah, there we have it. The prediction stands true. So from here there's well, they will both head to Kakariko Village fairly soon. Some like to jump by Lumberjack Cave first to see if Aga is required, and both of them will probably go to the woods one way or another. I actually casted one race where someone skipped the woods entirely and just went straight to Kakariko Village, but that's quite rare.
Yeah, it's 2 items to check, and you gotta figure, you know, early Sphere 1 checks are so powerfully important. But if you start really strong and you end up with a lot of items, then each good progression-based item you find reduces the chances that that's going to be important.
That's true, and they have started with a good, strong start here. But even though, despite of that, they're both going to Lost Witch, which is completely normal and nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, so we are 2 items away from Dark World access, just a lift upgrade and the Moon Pearl. We find just some bombs up. Oh, and eLmaGus is actually going to choose to pick those up because you need some bombs for Kakariko Village. TGH also following suit.
The more interesting access to Dark World, of course, would be another sword and the lamp.
Yeah.
But
well, there's the lamp.
There we go.
So far we've got some caster curse seeming to happen here, as we have called two things just before they happened.
This seems to be a curse of mine, so I'll try and be kind in how I use it. All right, so both tiers are fairly useless. You got 5s and hearts. So we're gonna see what Kakariko Village has to offer. It's 13, I think it's 14 chests now with the bottle they have. So that's quite a lot of value in this village.
Yeah, and so Blind's Hut, of course, has the first 5 locations to be checked.
Yes. They have enough bombs to get through all of Kakariko without having to buy any, but they're probably not gonna buy anything after having so many.
Magic Cape, that's another item to get past.
Oh no.
Into Aga 1, of course, the Master Sword would break down that energy barrier beast, but the Magic Cape lets you
need that anymore. If they find a Moon Pearl now and nothing else, Aga is basically required. And even if they don't find Moon Pearl might even be on the pyramid ledge, which is never a good sign.
Yeah.
Or you can find like hook shot the pyramid ledge, and then the Moon Pearl is like in Death Mountain or something.
Yep.
That has happened to me once, so I'm not just pulling things out of my butt here. These are things that I have seen.
So 50 more rupees here in the well, along with a piece of heart. 3 more checks to discover a full heart container. That's a nice find. It's a second one to go along with it. So a little bit of extra health for the players is never a bad thing at this stage.
A lot of love and a lot of money. So we all need, right?
Yep. Wow, yes. A third full heart container out of the bottle vendor there. So,
you know, people say that money can't buy love, but I don't know. In Hyrule, that doesn't seem to be the case.
That's absolutely true. TGH electing not to try a Kuko clip. We have had at least one softlock this tournament because of it.
Yeah, it's only for swag and it has potential softlock. I would never do that. I'm sorry, but yeah. Just gonna get some extra bombs. We do have some bombs needed for South Shore, so this is not out of the ordinary, and we have a lot of extra money. Both of them are actually going to do this. So we have
Yeah.
2 more checks in Kakariko. I'm going to have a look at library and race game, and then we'll see where they go from there.
Yeah, so picking up 2 bottles already at this point, so it's a really nice find as well. Just 5 arrow capacity upgrade from Sick Kid, though.
Sick Kid with that quiver. He doesn't need it anymore.
And the back of the tavern has 20 rupees, so we are done with the Kakariko Village proper. Just a couple of look-sees at the south part.
Now, why does killing Ganon heal the Sick Kid?
I don't know. Ganon is just casting a pallor over all of Hyrule, it seems.
But only the Sick Kid is affected. Poor guy. Was that a sword?
I believe.
No,
was
10
just
10
arrows.
arrows.
I thought for a moment it might have been silver arrows, but
oh yeah, okay. Okay, I was just a piece of heart on the race game. They're both gonna gamble to skip that. Having all the items they have, I can completely understand it. Now, actually, they could have done the fairy. I mean the bat. They have the mushroom and the hammer. They could have sequence broken the bat, but they chose not to.
Now, so interesting. Other opportunity here is there is the possibility that one of them might just go up to Aga at any point if they're feeling like taking a risk. This is game 1, however, so most likely they're going to do all of the available checks before pulling the trigger on that. But we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, and chat pointing out that I'm an idiot. Yes, you need the red cane to do that. So yeah, no, you cannot. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't agree. I just kind of kept my mouth shut about it, but
I can take it. Don't worry. I'll just cry inside. It's okay. All right, so we're gonna see what wet item we have today.
Ooh, bombos. So 2 medallions already. A lot of the items that you kind of have to hunt down are being handed to the players at this point. So bow, hammer, medallions for the inevitable medallion required dungeons that they need. We're at least going to need 1 of them.
Oh, a Gina check from Elma. This is kind of unconventional.
I like making an Agenic check when I'm seeing signs for Aga 1.
Oh yeah,
just to get it out of the way. And that's pretty much the best possible time you're going to have to do it after you do the dam. So let's see what happens there. Meanwhile, TGH finds a fighter shield, 50 rupees, another piece of heart, and 50 more rupees.
Oh, wow. Aga is looking strong now. The most dense item had basically nothing, but he did kill those mini Moldorms with grace and effectiveness.
Mm-hmm. And another piece of heart over there on eLmaGus' side means that we just have the Ice Rod Cave left to provide them with some additional progression.
No, there's also a Shahar Shalash. Well, yeah, maybe you mentioned that.
The back of Shahar Shalash, yes. And all of my guesses are Palace. Wow.
Yeah, they can complete Eastern, actually. Oh, it is a pendant. Of course it's a pendant when they can complete it.
When things are pendants, I just pretend like they don't exist. I'm not currently racing, so I don't have to. I can do that.
No, that's understandable. All right, so we're gonna see what is in Ice Rod Cave. We already seen the Moldorm from TGH. Oh, silver.
Silver arrows.
Well, that's gonna make that Eastern dip a lot easier. Well, faster, I guess. It's not that hard, but. Oh, almost took a death there, Elma, but he's got saved. He's gonna find a lot of love in this cave, though. Maybe no, there was more heart pieces. There we go.
So Alright, so TGH seems to be in the plan for TGH, yep.
Oh yeah, and it's only logical choice. You're not gonna go blind Aga before checking Eastern, especially not when you can complete it.
There is also the Mushroom Turn-In, as is pointed out in chat, as a possible item to check. Can't go all the way to Zora's, but they can get to the witch there.
I thought for a second you were saying Zora's as in plural, but it was more like Zora's place, I suppose.
Yes. Ooh, another shield upgrade, 20 more rupees, and another heart container that fills
Aga is looking strong, my friends.
Yep,
so
3 items in Eastern Palace will be accessible at this point. All of them are in logic.
We want to see the Moon Pearl, and we don't want to see gloves. That's basically how it is right now. Well, if you're like me and statistic, but yes.
Well, gloves would open up some more item check locations.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
and
doing
they would need
but-
moon pearls still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
So anything
Gloves.
really would be nice for them to find here. Of course, this is a pendant dungeon, so that's kind of, a little frustrating, especially if they come out of it with nothing. It'll be incredibly a big time sink unless turns out to be a pedestal seed. But
Yeah, that's another interesting. Oh, we're gonna have some fake flippering from Elmeyer, but another interesting point is if you find those 3 items early on, do you go ahead and finish it? Like, are you gonna gamble it might be ped because it's not even a green pendant, or do you just leave it? That's kind of an interesting question.
well, it is a good question. I would say that because you have silver arrows along with the lantern, it's such a short dungeon. I think I would,
Yeah.
but then again, I'm not in the bracket stage of this tournament, so
That's why we're just scrubs here commentating.
so another arrow capacity.
Ooh.
And the red meringue out of Hobo.
I have a little bit more love for the red meringue than most people, but I'm going to keep that to myself, as it is quite controversial to say that. So Elma to Eastern now, while TGH is looking at 1 or 2 items left. I'm trying to remember how many he has found, but he found at least one with that arrow capacity upgrade. And by items, we mean not dungeoned items. Those will always be in there. Oh, that's nice. Now we can check big chest right away. That's always helpful.
Yeah, it is. But of course, if this turns out to be an item here in the chest, that would be very helpful. But
yes.
Unfortunately, we seem to have got a few.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lag right here. It's back on my end now, but I didn't see what was in that big chest in Eastern.
So, since TGH is going further into the back part, going up to that vanilla big key chest, I'm going to assume it wasn't the last item he needed. He wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't still an item to be found.
Indeed. I was about to look on the tracker for help, but our tracker has the same stream that we do, so he probably didn't see it either, so that's not very helpful.
Yeah, so we didn't really lose any important knowledge there. Must have been a dungeon item. And it was just the map there in the vanilla big key chest, so I'm assuming Armos Knights has the last item.
Either that, or there was some item that was just insignificant in the big chest, but we don't know. All right,
Yeah,
so as we...
he might just be going for...
we'll see what that item is on Alma's side shortly, though. As we're going towards the Armos Knights here, usually most seeds have 1 or 2 items that are particularly tricky to find and holding the players back from go mode. What do you think the seeds got going for us here, Crow?
Well, at this point, it's going to, when it opens up, it's going to be pretty wide open just because of the weapons. The bow is typically one of the big blocks, but the lack of Ice Rod, Fire Rod at this point could potentially play a role or play a factor depending on what Turtle Rock is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's what I'm worried about right now.
Man, what if Meyer and Turtle Rock are both Quake?
Oh, flute!
That opens up so much.
Well, it gives them access to the 2 items on Death Mountain.
Oh yeah, it's only 2 items up there. Okay, it doesn't open up. I was thinking they had Hookshot or something, but they don't. So yeah, that's true. It doesn't open up that much at all.
Yeah, but that is at least 1 look item, and seeing what's under and on top of Spectacle Rock. So that's not too much. Now, of course, Old Man as well. They can rescue.
Yes, they have the lamp.
Yeah. So it was Compass in the big key chest.
Indeed. Now they know where north is.
So TGH is going to go and activate that flute and probably head up Death Mountain.
Yes, so it seems. And after that, though, there's really nothing left.
Yeah. Now, TGH also hasn't done Nagina's Cave, I don't believe, at this point. So this flute is actually going to make that a little bit more a good or an opportunity. It's going to provide an opportunity to go see what's on Desert Ledge, as well as in eLmaGus Cave, relatively quick. So he might also make that check as well.
Now, what kind of bird is strong enough to carry a small bulb? No, it's not a Bulbasaur. It's a Squirtle. What is that bird, really? I'm asking the important questions there, I feel.
It's an unladen African swallow.
Oh, I think you'd need two unladen African swallows. No, I'm not going to go there. But yeah, you might be right. You might be right.
All right, so TGH choosing to go for the old man first, instead of checking the desert area.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's slightly more item dense, but it's very scarce either way right now. It has that one item up on Spectacle Rock. But we are crossing fingers that this has to be an Aga Seed, because that's what we like to see, isn't that right, chat? Alright, so we are seeing Eastern finishing as well from Elma. I'm going to see him fighting these Almost Knights. With Silvers, it's a fairly easy fight. Without Silvers, it can be a little bit tricky to get those 3 last arrows in before he turns red. But there we go, very nice.
So we see a blue potion there on top of Spectacle Rock. Underneath is the magic mirror, so that means Tower of Hera is now available, as well as the eastern side of Death Mountain.
I'm sensing a flavor here called French vanilla when it comes to the Moon Pearl. And nothing else, just Moon Pearl.
So this is a pretty nice find on TGH's side. Going to be able to continue on without having to make the Aga 1 play yet. Plenty of items now just opened up as a result of this location. Because they have the hammer, they're going to be able to go across the top of Death Mountain and then fall down into East Death Mountain, checking Paradox Cave, which has 7 items, as well as Spiral Cave. So we see that Palace of Darkness turns out to be our final green pendant as well. Red crystals happening there in Turtle Rock and Skullwoods.
Guess what's in Palace of Darkness? Progression.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's the way it is in Rando. Well, not always, of course, but Palace of Darkness has been fairly stacked recently as well. Alright,
it should be noted as well that TGH has access. Both the players will have a lantern, so the basement, in the event that Tower of Hera is basement locked, they are going to be able to go there and deal with it, or at least basement having an item.
Yes, and that might very well be the case. We're gonna see. It's very nice for TGH. Oh wow, this is such a good strat. TGH is running this game in any percent too, isn't he? I think he is. Like, no major glitches.
Oh yes,
because he has the exact equipment you usually have here, except for the boots, and the strats he's using looks very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's the bomb jump here that he will probably have to perform. There are so many different ways of setting that up, and he's actually going to do the bomb jump before checking that small chest. That is quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Finding that small key, which means an item may very well be in the basement, and the last medallion is here, so you don't have to worry about medallions at all for the rest of the seed. That's usually a nice thing to find though, because medallions can basically be anywhere. Almost, except for like in Turtle Rock or in Mire if they're required to get in. So those are a little bit like the Ice Rod, where sometimes they completely halt progression and you have to go everywhere to find them. So having all of them at this point is very nice.
Yeah, so Trolldorm doing his best to cause a little bit of trouble there for TGH as he jumped into the pit. Not significant enough to knock him down, but we are seeing a dead Trolldorm now.
Yes. Oh, did Elmo just blindly go in there? Spectacle Rock? Oh, the book.
Book of Medora. So that does give them access to Desert Palace now, which will be the first crystal dungeon that they'd be able to complete.
This feels like a Plando, man. It's so incredibly linear. For those who don't know what a Plando is a seed that does not have randomized items, but it does have shuffle items, but someone has just crap, I can't talk. Someone has put the items there intentionally.
TGH goes and checks that Ether Medallion tablet for us, just seeing that it's couch cash, so it won't be coming back here at any point once he gets a Master Sword or better.
So Elmo's gonna have to climb back up again. It did fall down that pit there, so he's gonna basically is full of TGH. Is there anything Elma's done that TGH has not done? I'm just trying to think of progression here.
Just the desert checks, not progression, but he did do the Agina's cave check, which now is less and less likely that TGH is going to do, considering the amount of progression he's found here, until he goes to Desert Palace. So, an advantage, I would say, on TGH's side to have not having checked that at this point.
I completely agree. So right now it seems like TGH is strictly ahead, but this is Randomizer and it's quite early, so anything can really happen from here.
Yeah, as well, I believe eLmaGus did fake flipper up to Hobo and check the Lake Hylia Island. TGH has not done that as well.
Oh, good point. Staying away from the sequence breaks, TGH for now, but he has quite a lot of other things to do in Death Mountain. He has an appointment with the Paradox Cave.
Right.
He's got to be careful not to take it.
Oh, no!
Yeah. Man, cursed him again.
Yeah, that was a very awkward death that he just took there.
Like, he's going to have to travel so far around there, too.
Climb the entire mountain again. Yeah, that Tektite was deciding to be as annoying as possible.
Yes. Those are just... I hate Light Death Mountain with a passion when I play this game. Dark Death Mountain... Like, usually the Dark World is more annoying than the Light World, but Dark Death Mountain is quite nice compared to Light Death Mountain. Especially after you kill Dagger 1.
Mm-hmm. I can't... I'm very surprised that he tried to race through there and didn't just take his time a little bit, but that's a good 35, 40 seconds.
He has a bottle. Yeah, so a lot of things he could have done.
Yeah, and he did kind of go an unusual route into Paradox Cave there. I'm not sure, maybe he's hoping he'd find something like Moon Pearl and glove upgrades well in Paradox Cave. I don't know what his thoughts were on why he was going that particular path.
Now we see an interesting on Elmo there. He's using 2 bombs to set up the bomb jump. It's something I've heard of, but I actually haven't seen too many runners do it before. So that was actually quite enlightening for me to see how it was done. Seems like the safest and easiest way to do it, although taking the most time and having to use 2 bombs.
Yeah, I would just have thought he would have gone to the other entrance here, not this one. But he's in. He gets a red potion bottle, so that's all 4 bottles located now.
This is a bottle and medallion-friendly seed. Maybe it's sponsored by, Coke? I don't know.
So
they don't have that many medallions, just bottles.
Piece of our blue mail. Kind of wishes he had that a little earlier when taking half damage from there. There's your glove. So we're just a Moon Pearl away from Dark World access.
So maybe we got Moon Pearl in Desert. There's Desert and Zor. He hasn't gone to Zor, I think.
Yeah, but at this point, he could also fake flipper up to the Waterfall of Wishing. Oh, no, he doesn't have Moon Pearl. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, good point. So you would have to just go... Well, he's going to check the ledge item, which is just a piece of heart. French... Well, not even French vanilla. Just straight up vanilla. He's going to skip Agina still and see if Desert is boots locked or not.
Yep. And it looks like eLmaGus left Turtle Rock, left Tower of Hera without killing.
Wait, he was in the fight, wasn't he?
Did he get knocked off there? Did we just miss it while watching TGH die? I'm not sure.
The tracker may not have just clicked the icon as well. We do have great trackers.
There's a problem with the tracker right now, so ladies and gentlemen, not being responsive.
All right. It's no way we would have missed something important like that, right, Crow?
That would have been crazy. I'm 90% sure I saw him in the room.
That would be so embarrassing. We would never do that. All right, so there it is. Aga is dead.
So, well, we still haven't seen Lumberjack Cave, And this scene could be the biggest jerk ever and have something important there just because it led them by the nose all around Hyrule in order to avoid Aga 1, only to have to do it again. That would be pretty funny, actually.
So it has been a fairly linear seed so far, but now they are actually left open with some more options. They can check Hype Cave, they can go to Village of Outcast, they can go to Skullwoods. And they can do a pod dip. There's quite a lot of things they can do.
Yeah.
Not just a dip, they can finish pod. And it's another pendant. Oh man, this better be a pedestal seed. They already have almost 3 pendants. And the book.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where they choose to go first. TGH here, of course, obviously going to Hype Cave, but then what dungeon they elect to enter will be interesting. They have a few options available to them.
Indeed. Now, it hasn't been that hype in version 29, but we'll see what sometimes Hype Cave strikes back.
So, blue boomerang, some bombs, a little bit of money.
Oh, wow.
And,
that
was like a 0.2 out of 100. I don't know. It was not very
Yeah,
good.
it was almost a negative number there.
Yeah, I mean, boomerang could be useful in a couple parts of Climb Ganon's Tower. You know?
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah. Well, they already have the red meringue, which is, I know. But yeah. Alright, we're gonna probably see the Pyramid Ledge, and then either Catfish or a Pod Dip. They have the mirror, so he could route in Catfish with Zora, but no flippers. No, never mind. No flip. Yeah, no, we can just check Zora, which is kind of bad.
Yeah.
And he also doesn't even have the money. And even if he can scrape it together, he still needs 110 rupees for Kiki, so he may not want to do that.
Yeah. And I do like taking an opportunity here to look at the Pyramid Ledge. It is always a good place to go when you first come by here. It's sometimes you end up kind of staying away from this eastern side of the Dark World for a little while, and so when you get an opportunity to check it, it makes sense to do so. And it looks like TGH is going to follow this all the way up to the natural conclusion of checking Catfish at the very least. It can probably mirror over, or potentially mirror over, for this mushroom turn-in as well.
Yeah, good point. Now, the Pyramid Ledge also has some nice view, so that's another reason to go there, of course.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's the Dark World, but it was once the Golden Realm, so...
Yes. We need to get our daily dosage of lore in here as well. It's always nice to try and follow it with randomized items as well. Becomes quite interesting sometimes.
So just a bomb capacity upgrade.
So I don't know, he may opt to, after Catfish check, to still go to Zora's Domain just to see what's on the ledge. It's kind of a bad routing, but
I feel like
he's already there.
Hoping for some money here. That's.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. He's definitely going there then. But then again, he's gonna not be able to dip pod anymore for a while unless he finds like 300 or something. So we'll see. There's still Village Outcast and Thieves Town and all sorts of places where you can pick up some money. So. Meanwhile, though, Elma's going a complete opposite direction. It's gonna check Stompy. Is that what we call that? The tree kid.
I like Stompy.
There we go.
So TGH does choose to mirror out here, and he is going to take a look at the ledge, and I find that to be very interesting. Meanwhile, eLmaGus picks up 300 rupees out of Stumpy, giving him that Zora money. So this is just a kind of an unfortunate turn of events for TGH to spend all this time to really get nothing out of it.
Indeed. Now, will he go into... Oh, back to the mountain? Oh yeah, he has the flute, so he can go anywhere he wants.
So K45 here south of the Grove has just a big 20 rupee in it for eLmaGus, so he's going to head back into the Dark World, and we'll see him head over to Dig Game.
That bird never gets tired.
And TGH is going to show us what's going on in Skullwoods and Thieves Town and the Village of Outcasts.
Yes. That's all I can add to that. Yes. All right, so TGH... like you said, it's kind of interesting. Does he go to Skullwoods just to take a dip? Or can't finish it. He has no fire rod, but he can check all item locations except for 2. Isn't there a better... Sorry, I'm not an English speaker. When you say except, isn't there a better word for that than except 2? Like a more fancy word.
Well, there's probably a few. It depends, I guess, on context.
Yeah, in that context. Okay, never mind. I was just,
Sorry, I was.
just catching you off guard there with asking you about English. No worries. It wasn't even an easy question. I was asking for alternative, like French-ish English
Beside?
words for. Beside par? No,
In
par is
addition to?
something. There we go. All right. Sorry, I have to keep the stream going with the important questions. All right. So anyway, TJ is going to go ahead, go to the back, kind of Skullwood, see if there's something important here. And he knows he can't complete it. I just remembered this seed is actually a required double dip to I can't talk, to Desert Palace.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not very kind, which is what we like.
eLmaGus, meanwhile, instead of going into Village of Outcast area, is going to open up Palace of Darkness for us. So we are going to see a whole bunch of item locations in this green pendant dungeon. Now, they have the book. So TGH is set to give us that the pedestal check right now. And we're about to find out if this is a ped required seed.
And I like this because this has kind of built into it. Ped is dead.
Disappointment.
Indeed. It's been a long time since I've seen a ped seed.
Oh, just last week I had a couple that I commentated. It was very exciting, but...
Oh, there we go. The RNG gods are smiling upon your commentary.
Yeah. It was very frustrating for the players because most of them had gone into... both of them had gone into and left pendant dungeons without killing the boss on multiple occasions, so...
Oh, that comes to bite him. Alright, so it happens so rare though, I can understand the gamble.
Yep,
so there's one item left in Skullwoods, and TGH is going to check the front to see if it's there.
Meanwhile, eLmaGus has gone to Palace of Darkness. So far, picked up nothing of value. Lots of chests here to explore, though, and it is quite a long dungeon for a pendant. If it doesn't pay off, it'll be a significant time sink for him.
Indeed. Now, this is not unusual for pod. You usually have a lot of small keys, or even the big key in the front, and then usually in the back is where most of the items are, although he did find a big 20. Now, did TGH find all the items in Skullwoods, or just all the ones he could access?
Yeah, I believe he's got no more checks to make until he has the fire rod.
Alright, I know he found at least one item, and there's only 2 in that dungeon. But he's going to check the Bumper Cave ledge. He can also go ahead and check Graveyard ledge because of that mirror, which is a very nice check because it's a little bit out of the way. Oh, I actually kind of want that money.
Yeah,
he's not gonna...
choosing not to. I'm sure at some point he's going to find the 70 or 64 rupees he needs to activate Zora for him.
Yeah, we know Stompy has 300, and he's going to get there eventually. So he's not choosing not to go Graveyard Ledge now. I guess he wants the boots first, but it's a little bit risky.
Mm-hmm. So picking up the bug net here in Palace of Darkness, so at least one item that could be helpful.
Yeah, yeah, helpful. That's true. Also, using bug net against Aga 2 is surprisingly good. I know it's a bit of a meme, but it actually reflects those balls quite nicely.
I have yet to see anyone make the attempt.
I think I was forced to do it in Plando or something.
So another full heart container in the chest game here in Village of Outcast. A piece of heart was in C-shaped house. And TGH is going to head into Thieves Town for us.
Yeah, another fully clearable dungeon. Thieves Town is one of those dungeons that you need very few items to clear. You just basically need duck roll access, and it's very nice to have the hammer to full clear it.
Mm-hmm. So in this dark section here of Palace of Darkness, eLmaGus now seeing a few more items.
We call it Palace of Super Darkness.
One item located here on TGH's side, another full heart container. So a lot of health has actually been thrown our runner's way in this early part of the seed.
We've come to the part where progression is scarce. So it's going to be interesting to see who can pick it up. Even more health.
Bomb capacity. And another full heart container.
Aw, this seed's
lots of love.
They love the runners so much.
So
by not giving them progression. Sorry, go ahead.
I believe the hallway, harmless hallway, has to be a key now.
Yes. If it hasn't been checked, it has to be key.
Yeah, everything else has been checked. So eLmaGus is now going to head over to the back half of the dungeon, head up to Helmisar.
He has not. Okay, so Alma has
Oh,
not
yes.
checked pedestal, so he doesn't know that Pet is dead. But there's still, it's the green pendants. It still might be an item. I think Helma also might have an item. I haven't kept count, so. Both, no, TJ is in a very tricky room, the worst room in this dungeon, but he's gonna squeeze by just fine. So much easier with boots, though. And another thing that they're kind of having that hammer early on made things nice, but at this time, getting a couple of sword upgrades is not to be too sad about.
Yeah, they do definitely need at least one at this point. You have to have a Master Sword to defeat Ganon, so they are still on the lookout for that.
Does the logic require tempered to beat Ganon?
No, it does not.
Oh, but it does require silvers.
No, it does not.
The logic doesn't require silvers to beat Ganon?
I don't believe the logic requires it, no. It does require just the Master Sword.
Huh. I did not know that.
But at the point where you're there, I believe it's a point because you probably would have had access to it anyway. It would be very strange. Like, I'm trying to think of a situation in which you would not be able to get it. So I guess maybe it does. But
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. It's going to be really hard to have like two swords somehow completely locked out when you can defeat Ganon.
Yeah. So I guess it's probably technically true that you're supposed to have silverless, or you're supposed to be able to have silvers, but it just never really becomes a factor on account of.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. All right, so we're going to see a Helma fight here. Having silvers and hammer, well, having hammer isn't just nice, it's necessary for this fight. But silvers makes the last part very easy.
Yeah, and there's the Titansmith on TGH's side.
Okay, for those who don't play normal Zelda, this is where also the Titansmiths are in the actual game.
Yeah, so vanilla.
So we've seen them. So Moon Pearl was on Death Mountain, right? Yes. The mirror was on Death Mountain.
Desert, but
no. Yes, Moon Pearl was in the desert. You're right. Yeah, the mirror was in the. Yeah. Wow, this seed. It's definitely like French vanilla, almost strawberry. But yeah. Alright, we're gonna see what the green pendant gives him. Wow, pod completely useless, I think.
Wow, a full-on bust, except for that bug net. And some health.
I don't know if except for bug net is correct there. But yes, we like the swag.
Ooh, half magic out of blind is a really nice find as well, so.
It is. And blind is a magical boss, so it makes sense in the lore too. We're gonna give him that. And he can disguise himself, using magic, so makes sense giving him half magic there.
Yeah, so TGH getting a little bit of an advantage here. At some point, he might head into Palace of Darkness to look for a final item. Unfortunately, for eLmaGus, that does leave him with the potential to go and blind pull the pedestal.
Oh no!
Instead of booking it, so
he's gonna get some couch cash.
Extra frustrating for him at this point.
Oh wow, this is not looking good for eLmaGus. Now, meanwhile, there we go, big 20. So TGH with those myths suddenly have a lot of stuff open up for him. He has part of Death Mountain now. He has this Jeremiah tour sequence, and so that means that he's going to stay away from Pod a little bit longer and hopefully find some other progression that keep him away from Pod indefinitely if he wants to stay ahead of eLmaGus here.
Mm-hmm. So the one thing, the other major area that TGH now has access to, of course, is Dark Death Mountain.
Yes.
No hookshot yet to get through Hookshot Cave, but is going to be able to learn a little bit of information as well. He can go into the Mire area and get the Mire Shed checks, Checkerboard Cave as well, and get to the back of Desert Palace
Oh yeah, that's an interesting point.
Yeah, and so he can orphan that big key off the torch.
Huh. Now there is a trick here with the mirror where you don't have to actually do all the pets this way because you don't have the boots, but he's gonna not do that now, which is totally fine. Doesn't matter too much. Ooh, speaking of boots, oh, that's gonna keep him even. Yeah, that's definitely keeping him away from Pod. Now he has Desert Open. He has all these boot locked locations. Dark Death Mountain is a little bit more juicy with that one check in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, it's really a lot of the world just kind of became accessible to him. TGH also is going to be able to do the Bonk Rocks Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb check.
Can TGH hover? If he can skip. Well, Swamp is still crystal, so he can't skip that completely.
Yeah, you still need to have it.
Yeah. Now, would TGH... I'm just trying to think... No, he hasn't checked Stompy. Okay, and K45, so he doesn't want to take the tour with this. I was just thinking if it would be better for him just to mirror and use the flute, but there are things on the way here that he wants to check.
Yeah, he's going to have some locations that he does want to explore.
And I don't think he checked Bombo's tablet either, which he can do now, and Agina as well, which I think he skipped.
Yeah, he has not gone to those locations as well. So he has a lot of economical checks here, very efficient route for him to make at this time. So it really feels good when you're making a play like this, where you know that even if it doesn't pay off, you're getting a lot of dense item location checks done, and so feels good.
Apparently, chat is insulted of me even asking if TGH can hover, so apparently he can.
Yeah.
Well, I would assume he can.
99%
TGH
sure.
is a beast when it comes to speedrunning in general, so...
Yeah.
But one thing he cannot do is run around with his chest, unless he takes sudden damage.
Yep. So eLmaGus now going to go to Graveyard Ledge, has that mirror set up.
Yeah, TGH never checked this, so this is going to be interesting. If there's something important here, that might put eLmaGus a little bit more back. I would give the edge to TGH right now, but if something important is here, that would be good for eLmaGus's progression.
Yeah, it's very curious to me that he hasn't gone into Thieves Town yet. But that seems to be his choice, so we'll see how it plays out for him.
You have to respect people's choices.
TGH now going to head to the Mire Shed location. Give us he can go into Misery Mire if he wants. Is completely.
Oh, with the boots, yes. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the red cane though.
Oh yes, he needs a block. The block there.
Oh, but this is gonna it's actually the double actually. With the boots, he can do a better Graveyard Ledge routing that Elma can, because he can check King's Tomb as well at the same time, and with the mitts. Elma doesn't even have the mitts either.
Yeah, so he has like the full North Road check. But instead, TGH is going to go into Desert Palace now and finish that off. He's got the boots. Can grab the big key.
So for anyone in chat wondering, isn't TGH a Celeste runner? Yes, he is, but he can run other games as well. He's a good speedrunner in general.
Yeah, just coming off Summer Games Done Quick, where he did run Celeste race.
Incredibly competently as well. Everyone should see that after this race. If you haven't. Picking out arrows when he has 60. Oh, wow!
Oh! So that's a great item as well to pick up now. TGH fully equipped with the footwear, boots and flippers. Going to be able to head into both Ice Palace now without glitching. And he can look at Swamp Palace. It doesn't have the hookshot yet. But there are some chests that are available to him in the event that is his choice. I would be surprised if he goes there first. Additionally, Waterfall of Wishing now accessible up at Zora, and he does have the money to pay for Zora's exorbitant extortion fee.
Oh man, can you imagine running with flippers as well? That would be wonderful. If you just have this big flippers and just running like with the boots. having both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna have a landmolus fight. Having silver arrows will make this fight exceedingly much easier than almost any other equipment you can have. So hopefully this will go well for him. Meanwhile, Alma is now in Thieves Town, and he's gonna work his way through. He's gonna find those myths, which is gonna be nice for him.
Yep.
Ooh, okay, gets the one
Still
cycle.
gets
Very nice.
4 arrows instead of 3.
Well, with only 56 arrows left, he's got to be a little bit careful there.
He's gotta ration those. It's important.
They only do 100 damage apiece, too. Alright, so, yeah, he hasn't even... No, he did check the ledge. That's right. Never mind.
He saw that when he first came by here with the flute. So that's TGH's second crystal. He's got Thieves Town done and Desert Palace, so not too bad.
And with the flippers and mirror, he can do swamp, he can do ice because he has bombos. He can do... Oh, wow.
So hookshot now located, so the world is now his oyster.
Oh yeah, now he can do swamp. Sorry, I forgot about hookshot. Well, he could do swamp, but he would have had to double dip it.
Yeah,
so
plenty of good checks to go through. I would say that I would anticipate that he
I would just start doing dungeons now. There are so many dungeons you can do. I would just... But yeah, you want to go mode them if you can, though. But still, like, so much available. And, like, this seed has been incredibly kind to TGH's routing choices. It's insane how much he's been favoring him. And also the fact, like, in version 29, you usually get this dry spell of finding no progression item for a long time, and they've all been kind of evenly spaced out, even in this part of the run where it's usually very dry, so it's been quite nice.
Mm-hmm. So we're still looking for the Canis Maria, both of the rods.
Yes.
And a sword upgrade.
Yes. Sometimes tend to forget about that sword. That is an important progression item as well. And with those silver arrows, only having Master Swords at the Ganon fight isn't that bad anymore. It's usually that last phase with Master Sword that's horrible, but with silvers, you don't really need to think about that.
Yeah, Cape actually also makes it a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, good point.
TGH getting the hook shot, deciding that, you know what, it's time for a full clear of Swamp Palace. Lots of items here as well to potentially find.
It's going to be interesting to see if he goes left side or not.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess that he'll go straight to the back and avoid left side unless he feels the need to re-enter it. That's one item found now.
Yes, let's try and keep track for once. There are 6 items in Swamp, so we have 5 left. Elma getting his mitts now in the vanilla location. I sometimes play A Link to the Past Randomizer with my 3-year-old on my lap because he likes watching. And whenever we're in these rooms in Swamp where the water fills up, he gets so excited for some reason. I don't know why, but he really likes that animation. Oh wow, the puns on blind. They're slightly better than mine though. I have to hand it that to him.
So Finn asks where the boots were. They were found in the Hammerpeg Cave.
Right, so we're gonna... Oh, Ice Rock! Well, Turtle Rock is a crystal, so that's a very nice find.
Yeah, and you really want to find the Ice Rod before the Fire Rod, if you ask me.
Yes,
just
I agree.
Because the Ice Rod can be in the back of Turtle Rock. Fire Rod really has a lot less likelihood of being anywhere other than first chest, or the first few chests. If you find a key and you get really, really unlucky random routing in that first chest.
Fire Rod can technically be on Laser Bridge if Turtle Rock is particularly nasty with the key layout. It's only happened to me in a plan though, which it doesn't happen. It's planned that way. But okay, that was at least one more. Was that 2 more items or 1 more item?
1 more item.
All right, so we got three left. 6 items in total here. That much I know. All right, so there's something in the big chest. Well, of course there's something in the big chest. What a redundant sentence, Kanban. There's also something in Ganon's tower.
Yep, there will be some things there.
Yes, I'm such a great commentator. We will find items randomized around in Hyrule. Ooh. It's exciting, isn't it, Crow?
It's amazing. It's as if there's things in places all over the place.
Now, you being a crow, you have probably more of a, understanding of the bird, the duck, the swag duck.
Oh, yes, that's true.
That's what I thought. You know how difficult it can be to carry Link around all the time.
I couldn't do it.
No.
So TGH now showing us some spin strats here on the Argus Puffs. Very nice. Possible to take care of them even with the fighter sword like this. It is a little bit slower than if you had Master Sword or better, but...
At least he doesn't have to switch to a hammer all the time, so that's nice.
Yeah. Not getting a slideshow.
I think Argus, you are required to have some sort of weapon to beat it. Well, you are required to hookshot, but you can technically only have hookshot here and not have any other item to deal damage to him. Well, not in logic, but like...
Right.
Yeah. Right, so that was another item. There's 2 items left.
You would have needed the hammer to get to it, because you have to hit that one.
Oh yeah, you are completely right. So you don't really need to think about the logic of beating him.
Yeah.
The developers didn't have to think about that. Man, the randomizer, like, I know this is getting super geeky, but from a programming perspective, the randomizer is incredibly interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive just how varied the game can be. A lot of that has to just do with unanticipated and unplanned effects that various item combinations can have to get you through dungeons and whatnot. That the developers, of course, clearly when they originally made A Legend of Zelda, they had a path in their mind about how you would run the game. But it's very exciting to see just how varied things can be.
Master Sword there. There's 1 item left, and he's actually going to go look for it. Well, he came back in, so he might as well. But getting some actual progression here now. And also, Elma did go for the King's Tomb and background checks, which I don't think TGH has done yet. And he's also going to check Lumberjack Cave, which... Has anyone done that?
Yeah, no, this is the final Aga Troll. Potentially an item still here. And it's just a bomb capacity. So there, Aga 1 officially dead.
Oh, bomb capacity, it can be nice.
Yeah, it's a highly sought after item location.
Yes.
Item. So eLmaGus now going to head into Mire area and hopefully go all the way to the natural progression search here of Checkerboard Cave and pick up his hookshot.
Yes. Man, I don't know. Like, I don't want to kill any hype, but TGH, he just feels a lot ahead of his opponent right now. It's going to be very difficult for Elma to come back from this. It's definitely possible, but it's going to be difficult.
And it really has boiled down to the fact that eLmaGus went into Palace of Darkness, did a full clear on that dungeon, and TGH has managed to avoid it. We do know, of course, absolutely unnecessary. The entire dungeon was a time sink.
And it's so rare too. Usually there's something in pod, especially when it's a pendant. Oh, that was an item. Yeah, that's the last one. Oh, TGH doing his counting right. There we go. I guess he checked to see if he was missing compass or map, and he was missing one of them.
Yeah, just double checking to make sure. And TGH now free to go all sorts of locations. It looks like he's choosing to head to that Dark Death Mountain area with Hookshot Cave, as well as Super Bunny Cave, Spike Cave. Lots of places here to potentially have items. He'll get some knowledge. Not that he needs it on Turtle Rock. He could actually go in if he was silly. He doesn't have the Cane of Samaria, so.
Yeah, he can say hello in the door, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
I caught myself there, chat.
You saved. 100% saved there, Crow. No problem.
Yep.
Is that the right entrance? That is the right entrance. Oh, I don't know why I thought that was the wrong entrance. All right, there we go. I should not have doubted TGH just knowing where to go into a cave here.
Now,
All right, so yeah, go ahead.
If TGH were to hover the main room in Turtle Rock, he deserves it. Monstrous.
That is true. Oh wow, tempered. There we go.
Very nice.
Oh, Deadrock's not being kind to eLmaGus here. These are the. Say what you want about the Ganon fight. These Deadrocks is the worst enemy in the game. That's for sure. Now, Elmo's gonna go use this portal. He doesn't have the cane either, so unless he has some sick hover strats, he's not gonna enter here. But again, technically the Fire Rod can be in here. It's just very unlikely.
So Hookshot Cave does have the cane of Samaria, so that makes it a little bit more.
Yeah, you can't do that much without the Fire Rod, but well, you don't know. Maybe you can, but usually you can't.
Yeah, and you'll find out relatively quickly whether or not you can. So I like the decision to go in. You either find the Fire Rod and finish the dungeon and feel good, or you don't and you know what's necessary. And it's really only a few seconds of time difference for you, just because you're already here.
Now, Fire Rod is the only item left for Go Mode, correct?
For TGH, yes, that is what he is looking for.
Elma will get his cane very soon as well, actually. So when it comes to item progression, they're very close. But when it comes to dungeon progression, TGH has completed a couple more dungeons.
Mm-hmm. And that's the Ice Rod there in Swamp Palace.
Oh yeah, Ice Rod too.
That eLmaGus still does need to pick up technically.
Oh wow, if he dips Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod and TGH finds the Fire Rod here, that's horrible.
That would be a real frustrating situation.
Well, I don't think that's very unlikely to happen. Yeah, he's not even gonna try and go in there now. Even with that cane picked up, he's gonna go to Spike Cave, which has not been checked for Elma, or for anyone.
TGH remembering, I don't have the Fire Rod. I'm not about to try to go insane.
You should try it sometime. Gonna do a blind drop here. We saw from TGH's side earlier. This is nothing, if I remember correctly. Oh no, TGH not
changing his mind.
There we go. It's possible. I was gonna go to Meyer before Ice. I like this because Meyer, you usually have to kind of full clear anyway because the big key can be very finicky.
Mm-hmm.
While go moding Ice is always better than full clearing Ice.
Yeah, it's if you can only go mode one of the two.
Yeah.
Swamp Palace and Ice Palace, that's still a nice time save. So anything you could do to provide you with that potential opportunity is worthwhile. There's nothing that's going to change how much time TGH needs to spend in Misery Mire now. It's pretty much hard-coded, depending on items.
Powder on Elma's side, if the bat has Fire Rod, that's going to take a long time for TGH to find.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big if.
Yeah. We still, of course, haven't seen any of Zora's domain other than the ledge.
He's preventing people from entering his domain. Sorry there. Sometimes I say weird things. You just have to bear with me.
That's all right. As well, we have the flippers in Desert Palace still eluding eLmaGus, which is going to be located now, I believe, as he's got his boots and he's heading into Desert Palace. So.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was gonna. Yeah, was there anything else in Desert Palace than the Moon Pearl?
Yeah, Moon Pearl and flippers. So.
Yeah, flippers. Sorry, he hasn't even found. Yeah, you probably just said that. Sorry, I was just spacing off for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
being a rude commentator there.
That's all right. I forgive you. This is a hard race to follow on account of the fact that both of these players have had very divergent paths, and it's unusual to see such a discrepancy at this level of play. And neither, it's not that eLmaGus chose a path or routing that was bad. It just didn't turn out to be the correct path for him. TGH's selection of where to go and when provided him with a more useful set of items at an earlier stage that's allowed him to get ahead of the game.
Yeah, many a good player would have followed Elma there and gambled pod in that situation. So
yeah, and I like to kind of say that with Randomizer there's like 4 qualities for a decision making. You can have a good or a bad decision, or sorry, not a good or a bad decision. Sorry, a right or a wrong decision where you've done something that was the right choice for you to have made, but at the same time, a good decision could turn out to be the wrong choice, right? So like a good play, like going into Palace of Darkness, where there's so many items that potentially located there that could net you progression that you need, could be wrong. It's not the right move to have done, and that seems to have been what's happened here today.
yeah, if you can choose to go to a full clear Death Mountain or check Agina's Cave, everyone will go to Death Mountain first, but the progression might still be in Agina's Cave. And so that's an example of what you're saying right there, I think.
Yeah, the full clear of Death Mountain is the right thing to do. It just could also be wrong.
Yes. Just like England, where left is right and right is wrong.
Yeah. Or it's a good choice that was the wrong choice. So Vanilla Bicky here in
questionable ethics with Randomizer. All right, so we're gonna see the big key chest now from not the big key chest, the big chest. I always mix those two words up, from TGH, and also that other on the side chest. I don't really have a good name for it. That you never check in an NMG run. It's probably the compass or something.
Yeah. But when still hunting for that final item, can't help it. Gotta go and look.
Oh yeah, you want to find that fire rod.
Especially for this dungeon.
Oh yeah, good point. Well, that's the second item, isn't it? Or am I mistaken? No, they're both there. No.
Still...
Oh, maybe Vitreous has it.
Yeah.
Good old pal Vitty. Oh, you can't play as a Vitreous Eye, can't you?
You can, in fact, be the Vitreous Eye.
Oh, that's gotta be annoying to play as, but it's kind of cool that you can do it.
Yeah. Kind of a floating, disembodied eye. Floating shield, floating sword. It's kind of interesting to watch.
Indeed. So many weird sprites out there. And after, like, the way I learned Ice Palace Bomb Jump, I have to have the Zelda sprite to do it right. So that just removed so many sprites from the game for me. Because I want to be able to do that. Because he's not setting... Oh, well, he doesn't have the fire rod, so he can't do the spooky glitch.
Can't do spooky action today.
So for anyone who don't know, there was actually a very new glitch found by a Norwegian, I have to point out, since I am Norwegian. Poor little Pinkus. Which allows you to skip this switch right here. Well, you still have to hit the switch, but you can hit it from this room over here, so you don't have to bomb up the wall. And it's a really cool little glitch that they found in this game from 1991.
Yeah, and it was found during this tournament, so...
Oh yeah, that's right.
Pretty impressive. And as well, a second glitch was discovered just prior to this tournament starting, during the Key Sanity tournament that was happening earlier this year, which was the bottle glitch, the potion glitch in Palace of Darkness. So a game that this old, still finding usable speedrunning glitches in it. It's just a testament to the number of people playing and just how versatile certain bugs can be.
All right, so we got nothing in Mire except for that crystal. So that means that it's probably going to be Ice Palace next. We can do it because of bombos. It's a little bit annoying, but they do have half magic, which helps a lot.
Yeah, and that would probably be the play here. Can't go to Skullwoods.
Oh, he could go to Pod and gamble.
He could, but I have to believe if you're at this level of play and you have a fully completable pendant dungeon or crystal dungeon, you're going to go there first.
Yeah, well, so it seems.
Yeah.
Right,
and he was, in fact, we saw him flute over here before he was thinking about it, but then changed his mind to Misery Mire, so stands to reason that he was going to come here next.
it also opens up the possibility of him changing his mind again. I'm just kidding.
Now the real problem, or the real drama, is going to be after he finishes this dungeon. If it does not have the fire rod in it, TGH is going to be faced with a question of going into Palace of Darkness, or looking at some more overworld checks. He still has Zora's Domain.
Yes, the bonk stuff, north.
Route.
Yeah, north route. 3 items there. Graveyard Ledge.
Palace of Darkness. And I gotta say, Palace of Darkness is an appealing check at that point because of the item density potential there. Now, I'm not going to say that that's what he's going to do, but it is a possibility that he might be faced with a very difficult decision in a few minutes.
Yeah, well, we are casters, so we've seen both sides. So we know that the North Route has nothing. We know Pod has nothing, so it has to be here or Zora, or is there anything? Oh, Pyramid. No, Turtle Rock is the... No, it can't be Pyramid Fairy. Pyramid
Fairies lock both Skullwoods and Turtle Rock are
there we
necessary, so there's absolutely no way it's Pyramid Fairy.
Trying to think of any other options that we've missed, but it's not that many. Well, there is the Powder.
Powder.
Was Powder in Pod?
No, Powder was not in Palace of Darkness.
Well, it's somewhere. No, it was one of those bonk checks, I think.
Yeah, it was a bonk rock or the King's Tomb.
Yeah. So because the bat could have the fire rod. Mm-hmm. He's known to carry fire rods. Oh, I love this way of clearing this room. Like, not only the bomb jump, but the very fast hammer stride afterwards.
Yeah, I liked it.
Almost. Yeah, it's the quickest way you can do it, basically, except for hovering. Alright, so... Did he find one item in ice already? I think he did, in that first chest. I think there's 2 items left.
2 left.
Alright. So when if you never play this...
Mike gave.
Alright, oh yeah, that's another location that he hasn't checked.
Yeah, TGH obviously hasn't checked it yet, but...
Yeah, Elmo of course checked it. Now, if you haven't played Rando before, one thing you want to learn quite early is how many items there can be in each dungeon, as long as you're not playing Key Sanity, so you know when to stop checking chests and how many items you're looking for, because that makes some dungeons like Swamp and Pod a little bit more juicy than some dungeons like Skullwoods or Misery Mire. Another interesting thing about these new glitches we talked about is that both of those new glitches were coined as minor glitches, which means that they are actually legal. There are many other glitches in this game that these runners are currently not using and not allowed to use either.
Yeah, a lot of out of bounds and other ways to like just bypass entire sections of the game have been found, but aren't used in these speedrunning situations.
Yes. I'm just curious, does Rando have any way to like prevent people from just EGing straight into the Triforce room? Or is this like a dumb thing to do?
I mean, you could do it, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of Randomizer. Well, if you don't get a sword early on, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to clip without the sword, I think. I don't even remember if they get the sword in the true any percent, if you want to call it that. Anyway, enough about speedrunning. It's kind of hard to keep speedrunning and rando separate. They're very much intertwined. So did he get the big... Oh, it's a little bit of...
Getting a little hover.
I like it.
Just for some swag.
Gotta like a good hover. I wish I could hover. That would be nice. I could scare a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, there's been some interesting developments with hovering this tournament. I was watching a game, and the name of the player eludes me. He turned out to finish, I think, 3-3 in the Swiss, but pulled hovering out in the middle of nowhere. Just ended up with the perfect storm of a seed for a hover.
Azusa?
Hook. Yeah, that's it. That's who.
Yeah, I don't think that's exactly his name, but I just remember it's something like that. Yeah, and he's still in the tournament. He's doing really well. He's like top 32 now.
Did he make it? I didn't
know yeah. I've been following him ever since that game, and there we go.
There's the fire rod.
And ladies and gentlemen, 1 hour 14 minutes ish. We have go mode for TGH.
Yeah, and so that was like learned it, you practiced it in the first couple of weeks of the tournament and picked it up. So people in chat have been talking about how good or effective hovering is, and it's one of those things that it's a glitch that can be very impactful in certain very rare specific
Yeah.
seed layouts. Otherwise, it's really at best a couple of seconds here or there.
It was like 40 minutes or something crazy
Yeah.
in that seed he won
Yeah.
by.
When hookshot is your go mode item and you don't need it, then
Yes. Yeah, because Swamp was pendant. All right. So, by the way, for people asking about hovering, so if I have understood it correctly, I cannot hover myself, but if I understood it correctly, you need to press the button for running, or whatever button that is on a controller. I play on a keyboard, but a ton, and you have to mash it really, really quickly, and then you can only let go for a couple of frames at a time while you press the direction you want to hover in.
Yeah, you can actually hold your direction, but you do have to kind of. You have a 1 second window to, 1 frame window to let go of the button, and then a 1 frame. Basically, it's hard.
Yeah.
Most gaps are about 23 or so. Most of the small gaps, 23 in a row that you need to do.
I'm not even attempting it because of what I said. I have the keyboard and not even a controller. So if I ever get a controller, I might try and learn it.
I believe the original hovering, like when it was discovered, was done on a keyboard.
Ooh,
in an
challenge.
emulator. So people it's a little bit
It's
easier
possible.
with a controller. It's apparently it's substantially easier, or it's somewhat easier on a console version instead of an emulator.
Yeah, I've been hearing different opinions about that. I actually asked Zelda about it when he was streaming. He said there was no difference between emulator and console when it comes to hovering. But
yeah,
I don't know. I've heard different things from different people.
I believe it mostly has to do with whether or not you're getting any lag. An emulator will sometimes have some CPU cycle lag in certain areas, whereas it's much more consistent on the consoles, and so that's why there's that has come about. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so TGH now has everything he needs. Not only is he in Go mode, he has Tempered, he has Silvers, he has Red Mail, he has, well, not Mirror Shield, his opponent has that. So, and he's about to get a small key too. So this is going to be a fairly easy Mothula fight, in spite of Mothula sometimes being a very difficult boss. But when you have this many hearts and Red Mail and this equipment, he should be fine. Did he get it? No, okay. You can get a double hit there at the run early, but still a very quick and effective. Yeah. Now, what Elma's got going for him, though, is that this fight with Argus is going to be better for him having the Master Sword instead of a Fighter Sword that TGH had at this point.
Yeah. And so now TGH, all he has left to do is the Turtle play.
Yes.
And it is Go mode Turtle Rock isn't really that much of a thing. It can sometimes, based on where you find your big key, be impactful. Laser Bridge, of course, could potentially be skipped in its entirety. But it really does depend on the location of keys and items in the dungeon.
Indeed. And I was going to say something. Never mind. I completely forgot it. All right. You got the best coastcaster here, Crow.
It's all right. Fire Rod was found in Ice Palace. People asking in chat that if they just missed that, it was in the Ice Palace big key chest.
We need to have a balance in things. The fire found in the ice. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's metaphorical for something. We'll find out what's in.
The ice rod found in the swamp is what allowed another water dungeon allowed you to freeze all the ice to get into Ice Palace. Yes, that's clearly what.
There we go, and then the fire will melt you out again. See, we can fit it into the lore somehow.
It's all real.
Yes.
And so the big difference here, just to recap for all of the viewers watching, eLmaGus was running really well. Had a great start, and now he is himself going and checking the Zora area. Unfortunately, this isn't going to net him anything that he needs. But that early Palace of Darkness dip, it was a pendant Palace of Darkness, and the blind pull on the pedestal did not pay off for him.
Yeah, the way TGH has been routing this, it's as if you got, if you knew where all the items were, and then you kind of made a route based on that, that's almost the route TGH has taken. Like, it's been incredibly effective and somewhat lucky routing from TGH, and it's really paid off for him. It's just hard to do anything about that.
And that sometimes happens, like, early on. It's funny how sometimes very early decisions can have very strong impact on the game. Like I said just a few seconds ago, eLmaGus made a pretty good play trying to, what could have been a good play going into Palace of Darkness early on. If it had paid off, it would have given him some more, a logical path to follow. Instead, TGH went into Thieves Town, picked up those mitts, vanilla Titan's mitts, and that kind of led him along a path that has put him in this advantageous position where he is significantly further ahead. So really, if you were to narrow it down to just a single thing, that's pretty much what happened, and that's the story of this particular seed.
We will get the bat check from eLmaGus, which we were kind of hoping would have the fire rod. We know it doesn't at this point, but it's still going to be interesting to see what's there. Although it can't be that, like, a sword upgrade would be nice, but that's about what we can hope for here. Oh, it's just a piece of heart.
Yeah, and the opening to this seed, let's remind everyone, we started with a sword on Uncle, hammer in Link's house, and the bow picked up during the escape.
The seed was kind of pointing them to Pod fairly early on. Kind of cruel of it.
And the lantern as well was on the bandits' hideaway, so all of that stuff, like, it was, Zelda was hanging onto the bow, I believe. Lantern was in bandits' hideaway.
Yeah, something like that.
Hammer was in Link's house, and Uncle had swords. So, like, these guys, as soon as they had Dark World access, like, all of these places were available to them, and it's Pendant, Palace of Darkness. These things do play a role in your decision-making process.
Oh, so TGH has the big key and a small key, but he's still... Okay, I guess he wants to find a small key in the big chest, because then he doesn't have to do the laser bridge. That makes sense.
He's hoping for a small key here.
Is he gonna check the... No. Really? Why would you do that?
Are we looking for...
He's like, oh wait.
Oh, he's I don't need to do this.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get stuck now because he moved a little or something. Okay, good. That would have been horrible.
Yeah. That was very interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of going on autopilot. It's like, wait, I'm in go mode. Oh, another vanilla. What is the seed?
Yeah, that's another vanilla item. Amazing. In the big key chest as well. So that's the second one of those.
Yeah. Well, big chest.
In the big key chest, yeah. Or the big chest. I don't know why I call it the big key chest.
Oh, I just did some kind of... I'm ruining you here. Oh, but he finds the key there. Oh, this is so nice. No, he doesn't have to do
very nice.
Oh, the swag is real. That was actually a really difficult one, too. Mm-hmm. You have to hit it right in the air, because he would go further if he didn't hit it exactly right.
You have to stop it and blow it up just at the right point. I mean, there's a pretty large window, but it still look pretty sweet.
Don't take away from the hype. Oh man, I love to see Chain Chomp's rooms done that way. I know it's fairly unnecessary, but it just looks so good.
Yeah. So TGH now going to head straight over to Trinex, and once he does that, he's going to have access to Gambit's Tower solo. Very exciting situation here for him. He's going to be at a really nice time, an hour and 22 minutes here. Going to be taking on Trinex.
Yeah, it was
stopping to refill magic. He doesn't need it.
No, half magic. It was a required double dip desert, but except from that, well, was it a required dip into Eastern?
Eastern Palace had something. I can't remember what it was though.
Thank you.
It was so long ago because maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. I feel like it did though.
It either had something or it didn't. All right. So, well, I don't remember either. I can't criticize. Oh yeah. So that was a required dip as well. The only pendant dungeon that wasn't a required dip was the pond.
Yeah, just Palace of Darkness was unnecessary.
So this is not even a double header, it is a triple header. So what this means is that in not too long, when these two are done with the seed, they're gonna play again. I don't know the exact time. We're gonna be handing it over to some other wonderful casters. So we're gonna do a better job than me. And then we're gonna, if eLmaGus wins that game, they're actually going to do a game 3 also back-to-back tonight or tomorrow, depending on where you live in the world. So it's quite interesting.
Yep.
And also
so sorry, guys. The bot didn't start it, but
oh yeah, there we go. Sorry, the game.
Entering your numbers here, we'll give you a few extra seconds, hopefully. Please pick a number between 1 and 22, and if you are a subscriber to the Speed Gaming family of channels, or you have donated 250 bits in support, you'll be entered into our leaderboard should you correctly guess the big key location. I'm going to go with number 1.
Oh wow! Well, we're about to find out.
Oh, I was wrong.
Okay, I've just strategically waited a while. Okay, we need to stop the game. Okay, yeah, someone stopped the game. Good. So I really enjoyed. Someone guessed 23, which I like quite a lot. Seeing that it's impossible.
Ooh, Cane of Samaria Cane of Berna there on the number 3 location here, checked by TGH.
Yes. Does that count as number 3 since he didn't bonk it?
Yes, it does count.
Okay.
If he sees it, he knows that it's the third spot he looked at.
All right, I'm gonna say 16 because that's what I always say. Because it's a kind of a not as random number, if that makes any sense. There are some really boring facts about random numbers and how. Oh, never mind.
Number 7.
No, really, actually number 7.
It was number 7.
That is hilarious because if you tell people to say a random number between 1 and 10, about 30% is going to say 7. It's by far the most picked number, and it actually was true this time. So that means we definitely had a winner, and we probably had several people guessing number 7.
Yep, but the first one who was a sub or supporter to correctly guess this is Illis24. So congratulations to you. Your name will now forever be emblazoned upon the leaderboard until such time as we decide to.
Yes. And Borderi coming with a good point is not 1 to 10, it's 1 to 22, and the most random number between 1 and 22 is actually 17, which means that, again, if you ask people to say a number, most will say 17.
Interesting.
Yeah, our brains
like
are not that random. Yes, they don't want to choose like a boring number, you know what I mean? They don't want to choose like 4 or 12 because it's so like divisible, and I don't know, it's just weird. And I'm not saying like they won't choose, like this is very small margins, of course, like of course people will choose that, but some numbers are more picked than others.
Yeah.
Enough about that. We have TGH in the gauntlet. He's going to be facing a lot of enemies.
And he's actually motoring through these first few rooms. He's had
yeah,
really strong. Oh, look at that. It's continuing a pretty solid gauntlet here on TGH, as to be expected from a runner of his caliber.
He's pretending this is Celeste on Summer Games on Quick, and he's just making it easy.
Oh, yeah, he makes that look. These rooms are not that easy, guys, and he just made it look like it was very trivial.
There we go. It's gonna get for one cycle and most. That one isn't too difficult with the silver arrows, although sometimes the lag can prevent them from being fired when you want them to.
So my favorite rooms in the tower climb, of course, these Whiz Road rooms where you get to take care of them with the Cane of Samaria. Probably the most satisfying thing about this dungeon.
I wonder if it was designed with the Cane of Samaria in mind, or if it's just kind of happened to be that way.
I feel like it has to have been.
Probably.
It's just too convenient.
It is people can say what they want about the programming of this game, but it is a very well designed game, so probably. The items in this game are wonderfully designed.
Yeah, a lot of things. Oh no!
Oh, is he gonna make it? Oh yes, barely. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that one glitch that can happen. Oh, yes, he does, but he's fine. So it is possible to actually despawn every single unit in this dungeon when you walk up those stairs, including Aga, which is unfortunate, as you need to beat him to complete the dungeon. But he's not picking up any extra chests, anything. He has everything he needs, and he's just rushing straight towards Gammon. Meanwhile, eLmaGus is in his go mode, finding the fire rod in ice, and he's gonna finish Skull Woods and then head into Turtle Rock. All right. So Aga 2, he takes 3 red, I don't know if you call them red balls, bouncy balls, whatever you want to call them. He can also throw blue balls, which we don't want to see, but that's not that big of an issue in this fight. That's worse in the first Aga fight. And here we go. He's gonna get just one. It's the maximum number you can get at one cycle is 3, and he needs 6 of them in total to defeat him. So that's okay. Almost got number 4 there.
Yeah, that was a pretty good, good run there.
He would have gotten it if he hadn't it was not TGH's fault. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, sometimes the Aghanims just kind of get in a cycle where they're a little bit out of sequence with one another, and that was just an impossible triple that he got denied on.
Meanwhile, we have a boss fight on eLmaGus and also killing Mothula very quickly there. Alright, so we're gonna head into Ganon with very little health, but I know he has at least one bottle of red goo. I think he has a blue goo as well.
I think he has a red, green, and blue, actually. He hasn't had to use any of them up, and one empty bottle as well, so that's not going to be helpful, but...
Was that like the vanilla text? It was close to, at least. Well, it fits the seed quite well.
It did.
So you need 12 slashes per cycle, and he's already in the second cycle, or phase, I guess we should call it. He needs another 12, and I think that was it. It was really close if it wasn't. Yep. Yeah, it is, because he started teleporting. He can teleport indefinitely, can't he? Technically.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a hard cap on the number of teleports that
you want to see as few as possible.
Yeah. So yes, he did hover earlier. We all saw it, but since we've discussed hovering quite a bit this seed,
yes,
we didn't feel the need to talk too much about it. And nice setup for a double at the early start into lighting the torch.
Oh, it's gonna set up for another one.
And another double to end this. Now, as long as TGH can safely navigate this incredibly narrow tile-wide bridge, I say this with jokes, but someone has fallen off of it over the course of this tournament. It has happened. You jumped the gun a little bit. He's going to safely enter the Triforce room, and with that, claim victory in this first game with an official speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 11 seconds.
Get your GGs out in chat, and I can see them already. There we go. And the Triforce even wants to be his friend after this. I don't know. Would you want to be friends with the Triforce?
I mean, obviously, it provides you with unlimited wishes, whatever your heart's desire, right? So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So yeah, I was about to say we're gonna get TGH in here, but we will not get TGH in here because they will have game 2 right after, so they will not be doing interviews now, if I understand this correctly. But they will do interviews after the whole match is over.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are going directly from this matchup into their second game. It looks as if we will have, we may have the commentary team and restream team ready to go right off the bat, so it could be as little as 15 minutes after eLmaGus finishes off the seed that will be starting up the second one. It could be a little bit more. I know that the official schedule is for 5:15, I believe, Eastern time.
I can check that real quickly.
Or 6:15. I'm not sure.
You can do a great job commentating what you got there, and I'll check this out real quickly. Yes, it's 5:15 Eastern. So that would be for those who are in Europe. That would be 11:15 p.m. at night. Oh, p.m. at night. Yeah, p.m.
So
11 p.m. at night, just to throw it all in there.
Since eLmaGus is currently on this final dungeon for himself as well, I anticipate, probably another 15 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how he progresses through the last couple of dungeons. If he chooses to go full right side, because the key was available, that could add some time to his Ganon's Tower climb, but we'll find out when he gets there in just a few minutes.
Indeed. Now, it's always... You never really know when they know that someone has won. They have the option to forfeit and just jump straight into the next one. But he looks like he wants to finish. Maybe it's good sportsmanship for one thing, but another thing, he might want to just practice until the next race anyway. So
yeah, and some players have notably said that they don't play with they don't check to see if their opponent has finished.
Oh, yeah.
Just as it gets them in the wrong kind of mental space if they're constantly looking. So I'm not sure if that's eLmaGus's decision or not, but at this point, he's in Turtle Rock. He's on his last dungeon. He might be in that mode where he's just in the zone wanting to get through this particular seed. Finish it off, just for the practice as well, as you say, can be very helpful.
No, but I can totally see that. I remember I've raced a couple of times myself in Rando and constantly looking over at the EARC chat to see if someone's typed done is not very good for your mental health.
Yeah. It certainly adds to the chance for you to be making decisions that you wouldn't normally make, as well as getting a little twitchy in places that you normally are able to defeat or clear through fairly quickly. So
I was like, Elma, don't get that mirror out, and he didn't. He just switched over to hookshot. So good. almost an autopilot as well.
Yeah.
All right. So this I think is the last full match of round of 64, as someone had pointed out in chat, or at least close to last of it. So very soon, every single one will be in round of 32, and many has even entered into the round of 16. So we are getting close to the end of this tournament.
Just checking the bracket, this is the last round of 64, and that's because these, with Summer Games Done Quick happening, people were busy, and so they weren't able to get this game scheduled until this time.
Yeah, TGH is actually running games in that marathon. He needed to focus on that.
And we have, at this point, just one matchup has been decided for the round of 16.
We actually get to... sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, mostly round of 32 games happening for the rest of the next couple of days.
Yeah. Now, I was going to say we actually get to see the laser bridge, since Elma did use that one key to check the big key chest. But he found his smoky in the very first chest, so we didn't really get to see what else was on that laser bridge anyway. So as we're waiting for eLmaGus to finish here, feel free to give these runners a follow. They have certainly deserved it. TGH, an excellent speedrunner of all sorts of games, and eLmaGus, also an excellent runner of Link to the Past, and maybe some other games too. I'm not as informed about him as I am of TGH, unfortunately.
Another big difference between the two players here, eLmaGus is on Master Sword still.
Oh yeah, where was that? I think it was the second sword that TGH found that eLmaGus hasn't found yet. Because I think the location in Death Mountain was the same for both.
Yeah, it was the second one.
Well, we got chat got us covered there. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, so eLmaGus apparently plays a lot of RPG games, which it helps explain why I wouldn't know that, because I'm not a big fan of watching RPG games. But if you are, feel free to follow.
A Chrono Trigger tournament that's taking place that he's participating in.
Ah, nice. Now, Chrono Trigger is a game everyone can enjoy.
Yeah, speedrun to beat Magus, actually, so.
Alright, that makes sense. Oh yeah, it was in Swamp. I guess eLmaGus never went back into Swamp Big Key Chest. A Big Chest.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I feel when it comes to roleplay games, there's a little bit of a division within the speedrunning community if they like watching roleplay games, speedruns or not. There's very, very different opinions there. There are certainly different speedrunning games than the sort of like platformish speedrunning games.
Yeah, they take a great depth of knowledge about the game and the mechanics, especially with when there are certain games that have like random number generation, where you're seeding the random number generator by the type of steps you take just to avoid or find specific encounters. There's a lot of tech there in those games that gets utilized that are very different from more action RPG type games or action oriented games.
For sure. So yeah, it offers a different category, basically, of things to watch. We're gonna see now if eLmaGus is gonna come full right side. It seems that he will. All right, so this. Oh, even if he, well, we don't know if he's gonna go full right side or not, but he's at least gonna check those 4 chests over here, which we know are not the big key.
This is going to, you know, cost him a little bit more time, most likely.
Yes, although doesn't really matter that much. But he may find another sword though, which would be nice for him.
Yeah, and that would be probably the best thing that he could find in doing this would be that 4th sword upgrade. Well, 3rd for him, but
Yeah.
just give him that tempered as opposed to not. But it looks like that will not be the case.
No. Now, I know there's not been as many rando races lately as you've seen in the past, and that is partly because of Summer Games Done Quick, and also partly because of that we are, you know, it's thinning out the number of players left in the tournament. But this week, or at least today, having a lot more races going on, and we just had a race before this with Andy between, Andy and whoever Andy was playing. Yes, thank you. The lane. And we're not going to spoil that if you haven't seen it. Although chat probably will. But so today is a good day for rando, and coming up in a couple tomorrow and the day after too, we'll have some more rando action than we had last week, at least.
Yeah. An explosion of games, one could say. And there's the big key for eLmaGus, so he's going to mirror back and head up the gauntlet for himself. Probably about 5 to 10 minutes left.
Let me answer. I wasn't blaming the players. It's just the way the tournament is set up. Oh, it's dumb players just keep losing, so we don't have more races. It's all their fault. Oh wow, collection rate of 139 from TGH there. That's very low.
Yeah, and one of the big games that will be happening is Willard is playing today.
Oh, there we go.
Piketty. So that's going to be pretty exciting matchup to be watching as well.
Pink Kitty is still in this. That's really cool. I casted one of her games a while back. All right.
And then, of course, potentially still 2 more of this matchup to come your way. So, lots to see.
Indeed. For those who don't know, chat is talking a little bit about ties. If a game completes, if 2 runners complete within 3 seconds of each other, it is technically a tie from the tournament rules. Probably due to 3 seconds can be achieved, you know, via human error in organizing things and not from actually speedrunning.
Yeah, and in fact, it has come up a couple of times over the course of the tournament. In fact, eLmaGus, in his previous round, as I said earlier at the start of this race, did in fact have a tie with his previous opponent, Pika Pals, in their second game.
Pika Pals, one of the top 8 finishers from the Kisanity race, if I remember correctly. Oh, tournament.
Yeah. So lots of great names have participated, already been knocked out. Many still are in contention as well. And one of the great things that I would have to say about this tournament has been like the influx of players who have kind of entered the scene in a more serious way. And, you know, the A Link to the Past randomizer scene definitely proving itself to be a growing community. Plenty of people picking up the game for the first time just because of this tournament, or maybe the Key Sandy tournament earlier this year. So if that's something that interests you, you know, take a look in the chat. The command has been put up about where you can go to get started with playing this game.
Maybe we should cast this more like golf. He's getting into the lamp room now. Let's see him set up the lamps here. Yes. He's getting all 3 of them. Very good. Just 1 left. He falls down there. That is unfortunate. But maybe he can do the room in reverse this time. All right. Sorry, I'm going to stop now.
That was pretty good.
It's always fun to try different things. Again, doesn't despawn, which is nice. I've never seen that happen. I just heard of it happening.
I've heard of it once. I've seen it once, actually. Sorry, rather.
The most painful memory. The most painful memory I have of Ganon's Tower here is when Cypher, many years ago in Summer Awesome Games Done Quick, fell down and he didn't have any more magic. He had to redo the whole tower in that room. That was just a couple of rooms ago. Yeah. That was painful.
do remember it. It was.
That was one
not
of the
fun, especially on the marathon. You know.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Bad.
Yeah. And now that was, I think that was one of the first times I saw this game being run actually.
So eLmaGus here is gonna do the old-fashioned method of actually killing Troll Orb 2. Ahead of the curve here.
Yeah, who kills Trolldor, man? Let Trolldor live, you know? It's like basically kill the animals, save the animals kind of thing here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to mash those buttons though to save him.
Yeah, and final chest there, of course, not providing that sword upgrade that he would probably wish he could find. And with that, on to Aga 2 fight in just a few seconds.
Someone said that we should cast light chess, and I guess the only place you could cast light chess would be this room exactly here, because we have, you know, Aga moving his pieces into the left and right position. And, you know, it's basically a chess fight.
Oh, getting blanked on the first cycle there.
Yeah, that. Oh, that. Bishop just hitting him right in the face. I wouldn't say that in a chess.
Another that was dangerous. Another 0 there happening, unfortunately, for eLmaGus. So one more hit, I believe, will do it. And while he has substantially more health at this point than TGH did, the fact that he's not on Tempered Sword means that he's going to have to use spins to take down Ganon at this point. He can't just use regular slashes. So we anticipate that there'll be some substantially more challenging Phase 1 and 2 for eLmaGus than TGH had.
Yeah, that's true. It's gonna. He may have to do like a two round Phase 1, 2 round Phase 2 before getting into. He has the cape, which helps a little bit, but you have to spin to deal damage, like you said. So it takes a little bit more time to load that sword up. This is also true in real life. If you hold a sword out for a long enough time, you will automatically spin around with it.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah, you're learning so many things today, Crow. It's a good thing. I got your back, buddy.
Awesome.
Was that 12? That was not 12, but he may be able to get 12 in before the next phase here. Oh, no.
A couple of these have only been singles. It is possible to get 2 hits with the spin like he's doing right now. But because Ganon bounces you away when you hit him, you have to position yourself very carefully. Like eLmaGus now has perfect positioning here.
Oh, that's very nice.
To show us that can happen, yeah.
Oh, but he didn't. Okay, he's almost got enough to have a 1 cycle there because of that position, but it wasn't enough. He's gonna have a 2 cycle at least. I think that was 12. He's gonna avoid these bats. No, fire bats did deal splash damage versus Zerg units. You want to avoid them. That's a little StarCraft reference for you there. No, you're never you're not forced to forfeit after loss. Just some players choose to do it. Especially, actually, in this situation we're here, where eLmaGus was quite a bit far behind his opponent. Some people choose to, but we talked about some of the reasons he may not have done that. And there's definitely nothing wrong in doing that. You need to get the spins to get him into the blue state, so it's a little bit more tricky. But oh, setting up for a triple. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, just one.
Yeah, that was a hard. Ooh, that was close as well, but he is going to get the double.
There we go. It's technically possible to get a quad there. We've seen it once in this tournament.
Yeah, there has been the one time. That was the first time I'd ever actually seen one.
Yes, me too.
Quads are pretty crazy.
Running straight out of the seed and finishing. You got the official time there?
Yeah, so eLmaGus completes this seed with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 4 seconds. And so with that, these two players could take a quick break, probably stretch their legs, grab a snack or something, re-energize themselves, and we're going to be heading into game number 2 in just a few moments. I've already seen at least one of our commentators who will be joining us, Wolflink, in the chat channel. He'll be casting the second contest along with B-Links, and will be, hopefully, I haven't seen her, but I'm assuming that they'll be ready to take over from us in just a few minutes. So any last thoughts that you'd like to share with us today, Kanban?
Well, follow the runners. Also, thanks to our sponsor. No, never mind. We don't have any sponsors. It would be great if we had one, though. Just if anyone out there is from a company and want to sponsor. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna take the role of this. But yeah, like you said, we got next race coming up. It's technically scheduled to start in 8 minutes, but I don't know if it's gonna be a little bit more than that. Sometimes we are slightly delayed, but I'm sure you can live with that. It's still fairly quickly action coming right back. Thank you for casting with me today, Crow Zone. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, and just as well, thanks very much for Hollowbro to keeping the tracking, for running the tracker for us today, keeping all those lights lit up at the bottom of the screen. It helps us, and it helps the chat maintain their, follow the game, know what's going on, especially if they're in and out over the course of a seed. So special thanks to you as well. And with that, I'd like to thank the viewers here for staying with us for this game. And I know that I'll be watching the second match, and we'll see you all in the next race.
Yes. Bye-bye.